Welcome back to the Flying with the Flock podcast, the best place to get all of your Eagles and other NFL related news. I'm your host, Matt, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We finally made it. We made it to NFL training camp has officially begun, and Media Day was yesterday, so we'll get into some of the things with that. But today is the first day of padless practice for the entire team, and I, for one, am quite excited, especially with the first NFL football game technically only being uh, 8 days away now. So it's time to get hyped, football fans. All right, we're almost here. We got a preseason to get through, and that's always some fun chaos going on. And then we're gonna be in it once again. We're gonna be back in the trenches. But before we get started, if I could ask you guys to leave a like and subscribe down below, that would be much appreciated. I want to thank you guys right off the bat for the amazing amount of views that the first episode ended up having. It had like close to where is it at here? Close to like 40 views for the first episode. So I want to thank you guys for all popping out, and again, thank you so much. Please leave a like and subscribe down below. But without a further ado, let's hop right into it. Although today is technically the second day of NFL training camp for around 30 of the teams. Teams like the Lions and Chargers both have been in training camp since last week due to the Hall of Fame game featuring those two teams. But getting away from the rest of the NFL, mainly for the Eagles, yesterday was the media day, and we got to see rookies like Jahad Campbell suited up in the midnight green for the first time. Which was a really nice look. We got to see A.J. Brown. He looks more swole than he ever has. Devontae Smith getting ready for his year 5. I forget whether we saw Jalen Hurts. I don't think we did, but overall we got to see a lot of some defensive players like the Exciting Whites and other offensive players as well during this media day. I'm not sure what theme they were going for. Every once in a while they'll go for like a random theme. This theme was like futuristic, like Philly or something. It looked like to me. I mean, they had stuff where signs where it said like Broad Street and Reading Terminal and so on and so forth. But overall, it seemed like they were going for more of a futuristic looking scheme. Kind of interesting. I want to see what the final product looks like in the stadium itself, so we're just going to have to wait and see for that, but ultimately, kind of cool. It's nice to see some of these guys back in their uniforms, in pads, and hopefully moving forward, we will get more of that, more of those kind of looks here in a couple of days. Obviously, today, being July 23rd, will be the first day of real practice, though it is without pads. This will give us a sense of kind of who's going to be in the starting position. And that's mainly what this first week is going to be about, is seeing who's going to be above one another for the starting positions. Over the next few weeks, we will be covering some of the main battles going on throughout Eagles training camp. That being Sidney Brown versus Andrew Mabuka for the starting safety spot alongside Reed Blankenship. This is definitely going to be one of the more interesting battles, I will say. This will majorly affect the Eagles throughout the season. I do have faith in Sidney Brown that he could ultimately win over the starting spot and be a top-tier safety in the NFL and with the Eagles. I just need to see more out of him in practice and more out of him in general, because most of his rookie year he sat behind somebody. When he got a chance, he tore his, I think it was his ACL. And then last season he came in late. He made a lot of plays on the special teams side of the ball, but ultimately he never really got onto the field for the defense themselves. So this will really be Sidney Brown's first chance to prove that he can be a starting safety in the NFL. Andrew Mabuka, second-round pick, just signed his rookie contract 2 days ago as of recording this. Ultimately, I do feel like he could be the starter as well. He has a lot of experience with a top-tier defense in the SEC, that being Texas. He really is a physical safety. He can bring the boom and break up passes, especially over the middle. Used to be his bread and butter. Looking deeper at it, at some of the film, he does good deep coverage. He also, when they throw he's able to cover the middle of the field, kind of like a linebacker. So that's an interesting sort of situation where you can have a safety come down and play linebacker as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if either one of these guys won it. Obviously, I feel like Sidney Brown, as of right now, has the edge on Andrew Mabuka, though I wouldn't be surprised that over the next few weeks, if Sidney Brown's some of his training starts to slip, that we see Andrew Mabuka start taking some of that first-team reps with the starting defense. Next up, and surprisingly a fairly interesting battle coming up, that is the battle for the starting right guard position. That would be Tyler Steen versus Kenyon Green versus Trevor Keegan. Now, who do I think is going to win it? Most likely Tyler Steen. He's had the most experience out of these three guys. He's been on the field the most out of these three guys. Ultimately, right now it's his job to lose. He's proven in the past that he can be a solid right guard, not the best, but he can do what's asked of him when he needed to fill in. Now, starting at the right guard is a completely different animal, and if he's not up to the test, we really need to find somebody that can plug into that right guard position. Tyler Steen, as of right now, has my vote of confidence, but as the training camp goes on, I want to see how athletic he can be, and on top of that, how well he can protect the quarterback. Because Vic Fangio is going to be scheming up some defensive blitzes and some blitz packages that go for that right guard spot and cover up that, I guess, the 2-hole and the 4-hole. So, let's just wait and see, but as of right now, this could be the most shaky spot. Kenyon Green, I don't really have too much confidence in him. Looking at some of the film that he's put on as a starter down in Houston, he really wasn't overall that great. Now, anybody can come into Jeff Stoutland University and come out a different man. Best example of this would be last year with, I'm blanking on his name. Come on. Oh, it was Chargers, not Rams. We should not have two LA teams. That just kind of pisses me off half the time. Mekhi Becton. My apologies. It was Mekhi Becton. He's honestly the best example of what Jeff Stoutland University can do for a guy that is a quote-unquote bust or has bad tape out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of Kenyon Green, but ultimately him being the backup for whoever is the starter. And right now, my dark horse, and a lot of the Eagles community's dark horse for the starting spot, is Trevor Keegan, I want to say 5th or 6th round pick out of Michigan last year. Has a lot of that championship pedigree, especially winning a championship at Michigan, then coming in and then winning a championship with the Eagles, though he didn't really exactly play. He still was able to sit back and learn from some of the veteran presence there on the O-line. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him work his way up in the depth chart. Maybe if everything goes completely wrong, he starts at 3, and he's just a rotational guy that can cover whatever hole may pop up during the season. But to me, Trevor Keegan has put on that tape, especially at Michigan, and has that pedigree that he can start at the right guard position. He just might have to earn it a little bit more in the eyes of some of the coaches and some of the other players as well. So, wouldn't be surprised if Trevor Keegan makes a bit of a splash during this training camp and takes the next step forward. But as of right now, my vote of confidence would have to go to Tyler Steen to start at that right guard position. All right, some of the smaller kind of training battles. This is more just for roster spots or starting positions that really don't impact the Eagles too much. This one is for a roster spot. We have Dorian Thompson-Robinson versus Kyle McCord for the QB3 spot. I'm fairly torn on this one. Obviously, DTR has had experience starting in the NFL at Cleveland. He started maybe a game or two last season, but both were wins, and then both were losses, and the second one he got knocked out with like a season-ending injury or something. But he would be a solid guy for the scout team to use because of how mobile he is. So he can replicate a Lamar Jackson, and he can replicate a Patrick Mahomes style quarterback for the scout team. So that would be my big reason for keeping him on as third string QB. But it's weird that, not that we haven't seen it before, but in times past, it's kind of weird that you would draft a quarterback, though he is a late round. He's like 6th, 7th round quarterback. It would be weird to draft a quarterback and not have him on your roster the after training camp. Again, this is going to be a really difficult battle. Kyle McCord looked solid when he was throwing during the offseason programs. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle McCord just shows that he's the better overall quarterback, and ultimately DTR goes onto the practice squad. But who knows? Kyle McCord could be the one that gets cut and then comes back on the practice squad, and hopefully doesn't have to come back on the roster if anybody gets injured. Another small but fun battle, for me at the very least, would be Azeez Ojulari versus Jalix Hunt for the starting edge rusher spot alongside Nolan Smith. To me, Jalix Hunt has kind of the edge on this because Fangio knows him. Fangio knows that he can kind of produce when it matters most. Azeez Ojulari, although he has quite a few years starting underneath his belt at this point, Fangio likes to play his guys, the guys that he knows can produce, and we need to see whether Azeez Ojulari can do that during training camp this year. If he can do that, and if he looks more solid than Jalix does, then it's his job. But until then, I would like to see that happen in front of me. There are definitely more smaller battles that could be happening. Obviously, looking at the linebacker position, you can't keep all of them. You have Nakobe Dean, Zach Baun, both are staying. Jahad Campbell and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. both are staying. Then you get into guys like Samal Maudlin Jr., Lance Dixon, Dallas Grant. I do feel like these guys could be guys that get the axe unless they really prove to be important to the team. I'm trying to think of other guys. I forgot to mention, I forgot to write it down, the corner battle is going to be fairly important. Right now, it's Keely Ringo's job to lose, I feel like, and I do feel like if there's a year that he's going to take a step forward, it's going to have to be this year. He's battling against Adoree Jackson for that starting corner spot alongside Quinyon Mitchell. So, overall, I do feel like this is a fairly important battle to keep in mind as well. I don't know why I didn't write this down. It was probably in the back of my mind. But Keely Ringo versus Adoree Jackson will be fairly interesting to watch. And for everybody saying, why isn't Cooper DeJean being mentioned in that battle? Because he's more of the nickel corner than Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson would be. So he's staying at the nickel position. Alright, so we got some more news from around the league. Yesterday was a tough day for Saints fans. They found that Tyrann Mathieu and Jimmy Graham both retire a day before their first practice. The Saints are losing a lot of veteran presence on both sides of the ball, which could come into play later down the line. Both now with a hole at the safety position and at the tight end position. Though this morning it was announced that the Saints would be signing Julian Blackmon to help secure the secondary. So hopefully that helps them out on the defensive side of the ball, with Julian Blackmon having a couple years of experience at the starter position. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them not take a step back, but stay around the same with this new personnel. Rams QB Matthew Stafford is sidelined due to back soreness. Rams coach Sean McVay announced to the media that Stafford will be working off to the side during the beginning of training camp due to him dealing with back soreness. Probably nothing major, but still something to keep an eye on during training camp due to Stafford's injury history, especially over the past few years where it's sidelined him a little bit, which ultimately damages the Rams' chances at getting to the playoffs at all. Overall, nothing major Oh, yeah, and the Browns kind of announced... Okay, two announcements. One is Kenny Pickett, as of right now, will be the QB1, so he will be taking all the snaps with the starters. I'm surprised Joe Flacco isn't, but hey, what the hell. Might as well give Tiny Hands Kenny Pickett a shot at Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett, mind you. Give him a shot at the starting quarterback position in Cleveland. I don't think he'll end up being QB1. I feel like Joe Flacco kind of has that job under wraps at this point. But wait and see. And this morning, Brian Daboll announced that the Giants' starting quarterback will be Russell Wilson. Giants fans, God bless your soul. I still probably would have wanted Jameis over Russ, but Russ came here to be the starter. It was kind of known that they brought him in to be the starter. So until he proves that he's not fit for that starting position, which could be as early as week 1, your guys are going to have to wait on the Jackson Dart show up in the Big Apple. Okay, so this segment I'm going to be calling hold-ins and holdouts. This is going to be tracking the hold-ins and holdouts all over the NFL during training camp, which will cover several teams that are experiencing problems within contract negotiations with star players. Some of the notable hold-ins. Rams running back Kyren Williams is seeking a new contract extension and is going to be present at training camp, but won't likely participate in practice itself. Okay, so that's predominantly what a hold-in looks like is the player shows up to practice, so he doesn't get fined, but he doesn't participate in drills with the team. Mainly, he'll be off to the side watching practice and or working on the side themselves. Kyren Williams is probably looking to get paid the highest running back money, so he's most likely looking to set the market for running backs, though I don't feel like he should be paid higher than a Saquon Barkley. He will most likely look to get paid like probably $12.5 to $13 million a year guaranteed money for like 3 years. I don't think that's a horrible deal for him right there, and that would be an extension on top of his already rookie deal that he's going through. But I feel like this one, will probably get done sooner rather than later because the Rams are known to dish out the cash when it's needed for a player that they know will show up for them in the long run. I'm going to save the Cowboys for a little bit. The next notable hold-in is another running back. That would be Bills running back James Cook is also seeking a long-term deal after his rookie season ends. After this season, it is unclear whether he will be participating in practice or sitting off to the side, but he will be at training camp at the very least. So, James Cook, this has been an ongoing situation for a couple of months now, ever since, I want to say, March. I feel like this news has been out. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills try to ride it out for the season. So, yeah, one thing is going to happen. One or two things is going to happen with the Bills. They're going to ride it out and see what happens throughout the season. And if they need to pay, they'll pay in the middle of the season, have James Cook come in. Or they're going to dish it out at like the end of training camp. One of these two things are going to happen, but overall, I do feel like it will get done with the Bills at some point. Yeah, I'll talk about Micah Parsons, but that's an interesting situation. That's a hold-in, but still practicing. So you don't see that too often, but when it happens, it's always fun to take a look at. Notable holdouts. I was going to put Bengals Shamar Stewart on here, but to me that one might get done soon only because he's a rookie and eventually the Bengals will probably have to cave and bring in at least him or his soon-to-be running mate possibly. Okay, notable holdouts would be Bengals superstar edge rusher Trey Hendrickson is currently in Florida via his Instagram, which he posted a picture of a sunrise or a sunset, I couldn't really tell. That looks like something that John Denver would sing about in one of his songs. So yeah, he's down in his home state of Florida, which definitely isn't Ohio. Hendrickson has made it 100% clear that no pay, no play. Talks have yet to gain serious momentum over the past 5 months, apparently, and due to that, it's looking like he will take the fines of not showing up to training camp and possibly not playing in games. So overall, Trey Hendrickson is down in the trenches, and he's getting ready for an all-out war with the Bengals over the next coming weeks and months. Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin is not going to be participating in training camp nor be within the vicinity of training camp without a new extension of his current contract. This is the first roadblock for the Josh Harris, Dan Quinn tenure at the Commanders and will definitely shape how the team moves forward with dealing with players and their philosophy surrounding that. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing Terry McLaurin on a new team. He wants to get paid one way or another, and he's not playing without it. So we could see a trade of Terry McLaurin, which would be crazy at this point, which could hinder Jaden Daniels' development. But overall, I do feel like one way or another, Terry McLaurin will find a way to get paid by the Commanders or another team. So Again, another holdout by a superstar. So that's going to be a series that I'm going to be doing. And once people get paid out, I'll probably either swap them in for another smaller holdout, or I'll just take them off the board entirely. But that was hold-ins and holdouts. Finally, we have big problem in Big D. This is going to be going over all the chaos currently going on in Dallas. So, yesterday, Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, got up on the stand, and obviously he has to make it about him. The Dallas Cowboys are Jerry Jones. So, there were plenty of quotes that have come in, but here are some of the more notable things that came out of Jerry Jones's mouth during his press conference. This is according to Todd Archer, a reporter there at the Cowboys press conference. Jerry Jones admitted there have been moments where he thought about stepping away from GM duties, but not for very long. Small fractions of a second, he said. He remains committed to winning a Super Bowl while knowing he is older. I'm living for now, Jerry said. So, okay, so that could be development. That could maybe help the Cowboys, hurt the rest of the NFL, but help the Cowboys. This is what Jerry Jones randomly taking a shot at. Hold on, let me just. You think I already have this pulled up, but come on, give me the quotes. Okay, so this is what Jerry Jones has to say about the contract negotiations that are currently ongoing with Micah Parsons. Contracts are 4-5 years, okay? There's a lot of water under the bridge if you step out there and do something in the first 2 or 3. You can get hit by a car. Seriously. End quote. And Jerry Jones was also taking a dig at his limited availability last year, mainly. He said, just because we signed him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He missed 6 games last year. Mind you, he only missed 4 in the back end of the season once the Cowboys were eliminated from the playoffs. So, currently, that's Jerry Jones's mentality going into this. So, overall, that is slightly concerning that they are thinking about not giving him a contract because his limited, quote-unquote, limited availability, and them fearing that they're going to lose out on guaranteed money in the back half of his contract, which is what some of the Eagles are doing, is, especially Howie Roseman, they're putting a lot of their star players, their guaranteed money in the back half of their contracts when the NFL re-ups with the broadcasting deals. So, Jerry Jones is scared at taking shots or taking a big deal with a guy that could have limited availability. Where else? So, while taking shots at Micah, he was also taking shots at his own quarterback. Where did it go? Where is it at? Latest. Alright. Brother. Why are these so hard to find? They were so easy yesterday to find. where is it? Okay, I don't have the exact quote, but he also then followed up him saying, like, talking about how paying Micah and then him missing time would be a big deal, especially for uh, financial purposes, and them losing out on guaranteed money. He also then went on to say something along the lines that he went on to pay one of the guys to be the top player in the NFL, and then him missing 2/3 of the year. And then he didn't even have to say Dak Prescott's name, but then he went on and he said Dak Prescott. So ultimately, he outed Dak Prescott as well, that he was not there enough for the contract that he was getting paid for. Where else was it? And then also he took shots at his star corner, Trayvon Diggs, saying, "We expect a player paid like Trayvon to be here all the time. You've got to have some leadership about you." That was about Trayvon Diggs not being at the team facilities during the offseason while he was, I believe, rehabbing, I want to say. But this one you could argue that's fine with. That's fine, but that compiled on top of what else he's been saying about Micah and about Dak, him also compiling that on top of all of that created for more drama that the media was eating up the past 2 days. So ultimately, Big Trouble and Big D is showing up at the worst time possible. And Micah Parsons also commented saying that at the end of the day, I'm here for my teammates, not to please another grown man. I'm here for these guys. I'm not here for him. So it's clear that Micah, and he also retweeted a quote by J.J. Watt saying anytime that you take a dig at like your star quarterback and your star pass rusher simultaneously, right before the season begins, you got to take it. Nothing makes a guy want to fight for you more than hearing how upset you are that they got hurt while fighting for you, which is obviously sarcasm. And my voice didn't really inflect that, but and Micah retweeted that. So obviously tensions are high at Dallas's training camp, which is going to be fun to keep watch over the next few weeks. So, yeah, that will conclude our segment of Big Trouble in Big D and our other new segment, Holdouts and Hold-Ins. So that's kind of it for this week. I actually got a longer episode than I actually thought I was going to get in, which actually makes me quite happy. Again, if you guys could leave a like and subscribe down below, that would be much appreciated before you turn off this episode, and follow us on Twitter for any updates that I give. I'm so glad to be back again. I did take a little bit of time off, but now that we're back, it's full steam ahead from here on out, baby, until the NFL season and until the Super Bowl. So, till next week, I've been your host, Matt, and thank you guys for listening to the Flying with the Flock podcast. And remember, go Birds.